This one is often considered the best film in the franchise, but to me it's the only film in the series that I consider a little overrated. Though I admit I can't really put my finger on why, because this film does an awful lot of things right. Maybe the formula has just gotten stale for me. The film features the first time that a guy is the main protagonist, and Tommy, played by Corey Feldman here, is a hoot. He's a horror-loving kid who makes masks and likes to peek at the babes when they get it on with their boyfriends. He's cool. The rest of the cast is actually surprisingly good too, and the babes are hot in this one, and there's lots of them. Jason's death is really gruesome, and the gore is nice because Tom Savini, who is behind the gore and makeup in the first film, returns one last time to kill Jason off, which obviously never happened. I probably underrated this one. There's really not that many flaws in this one. I know everyone puts this one near the bottom, but I'm not most people. I have loved this movie my entire life, though I admit part of this is probably nostalgia. You see, this was my first serious horror movie. Before I saw this film, the only horror films I seen were the Godzilla flicks and Jaws, and probably a couple of the Universal monster movies. I was a virgin when this film made a man of me. I was like 9 years old, and my ex-brother-in-law would always bring horror movies home for us to watch. In hindsight, he turned out to be a real jerk, but I idolized him at the time, and my love of horror has never faded. He brought Nightmare on Elm Street 4 and 5 and Jason Goes to Hell. I had low standards, of course, and though I basically liked Nightmare 4 and 5, they never really made an impression on me. Jason Goes to Hell, however, made me a horror fan for life. As much as I love this movie, I completely understand why most don't. The plot is frankly pretty stupid. Jason gets blown up, but his soul still lives on. And his still beating heart possesses this guy and makes him eat it. Then Jason becomes like a parasite thing, surfing one body after another, until he's finally reborn into his old body at the end. The slug thing that Jason becomes is really fake looking too. I guess Jason's mom was into the occult because she has the Necronomicon, which is the Book of the Dead that was famous from Lovecraft stories in the Evil Dead series. So I guess Jason is like a deadite, which would explain all the supernatural stuff. The film features by far the best gore in the entire franchise, and my personal favorite kill of the whole series. I won't give it away, but I'll just say 2 words and move on. Garden Post. Everyone who's seen it knows what I'm talking about. And truth be told, we only really see Jason for the first 7 minutes and the last 10. But Jason looks so cool this time. He's no longer bald and he's got strands of long stringy hair. And his mask has been on so long it's fused with his skin. The ending is legendary. Freddy's glove pops out of the ground and pulls Jason's mask down to hell. It sets up the future film Freddy vs. Jason. Yeah, I know people probably think I'm a hack for rating it so high, but so what? This is a Friday the 13th movie, not Shakespeare. Who comes to these movies to see a plot? Just turn off your brain and stop taking yourself so seriously, and you'll have a blast just like I did. This flick was originally in 3D, and you can tell because objects fly towards the screen all the time, including an eyeball. I wish I could see it in its 3D glory. It looks cheesy at times, but it's fun. This one is pretty dumb in a lot of ways, and it's way too overlong and especially slow in the beginning. But it's historic, because you get to see Jason with his hockey mask for the first time. What's hilarious is that this starts the very next day after number 2, where Jason was skinny, but now he seems to have put on 30 pounds of muscle and lost all his long hair, making him bald. I guess he lifted weights in his brief time in hell. And the music, oh the music. That cheesy disco score that was 6 years after disco was out of fashion. My favorite music of the series, in fact. Yeah, I know the music from the original was iconic, but this is so catchy and stupid I can't help but love it. The ending is cool too. They flirted with bringing Jason's mom back as the killer, but Jason was just too popular. Now we got number 2, the first film where Jason was the killer. But he's so different he might as well be a separate character. He's still ugly as sin, but instead of being a big muscled behemoth, now he's a skinny killer redneck with overalls and a potato sack on his head. Honestly, this is probably my second favorite movie in the series. The gore is better, the chase scenes are better, and the hot blonde Jenny is my favorite final girl in the whole series. and truly one of the best ever. It's a shame she only shows up in this one film. She uses psychology to beat Jason at the end, putting on his mom's clothes. Yeah, he still keeps his mom's severed head, and she makes him believe she has come back from the dead. The ending is confusing, and no one really knows what actually happened. This is my favorite film in the franchise, and honestly one of my 10 favorite horror movies ever. Actually, I probably watched this movie more than I've watched any other movie ever. I about wore out my VHS tape of this classic, and yes, I still got it. It's got the best kills because the kills are not just gory, but creative and funny as well. In fact, this film is a full-blown dark comedy. Tommy makes his last appearance, and this is his best appearance. Jason was just a really strong homicidal maniac before, but now he's a zombie rising from the dead. In fact, he is absolutely disgusting in this movie, rotted with worms and maggots all over. This is also my favorite performance of Jason. Yes, Kane Hodder is the best Jason, because he was in multiple films, but C.J. Graham's performance here is my personal favorite. He has never been cooler. Yeah, the old school camp atmosphere is gone, but it had already gone stale anyway. This isn't high art to be sure, but it's just so fun from beginning to end. Great hero, great villain, great gore, and great music by rock legend Alice Cooper too. What more do you want? Yes, I know the original's not my favorite either, but you gotta remember, this is one of the most important slasher films of all time, and you just can't beat that. By the way, you should check out my review for the original film. Yes, I have every one of these films. Some of them are great, some of them are good, some of them suck, but they're all fun. Hope you had fun too. See you later on the Hillbilly Review channel.